Welcome to Deep Thoughts, a podcast designed to take you on an introspective journey into the mindsets and strategies that fuel personal growth. In every episode, we'll explore the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and real-world tactics, guiding you through powerful methods to elevate your health, wealth, relationships, and overall well-being. From deep dives into transformative habits and mindsets to candid discussions about the challenges we face in today's fast-paced world, Deep Thoughts is here to remind you of the untapped potential that lies within. If you're ready to disconnect from the distractions and connect with the tools and insights needed to create lasting change, this show is your sanctuary for self-discovery and empowerment. Tune in, reflect, and take action towards a more vibrant and fulfilling life.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You know those apps, the ones that promise to magically give us more time in the day? I mean, we've all downloaded at least a few, right? The productivity apps.
Absolutely. The promise of an extra hour or two just by optimizing. How could you not?
Exactly. But do they actually work? That's what we're digging into today.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that. There are so many out there now.
Right. So we came across this article in Fortune magazine. It's called, hold on, The Fallacy of Time-Saving Apps. They Don't Save You Much Time, by Laura Vanderkam. And it really made me rethink my whole app strategy.
Okay, fallacy is a strong word. What's the argument there?
Well, one of the first things that caught my attention was this quote from a personal effectiveness coach. They were saying that they rarely recommend time-saving apps to their clients.
Interesting. You'd think that would be like their bread and butter.
Right.
Helping people be more efficient.
That's what I thought. So it really made me want to, understand what's going on there.
Yeah, definitely. Get past the marketing hype and all.
Exactly. And the article goes on to talk about how a lot of these apps are solving these super specific problems. Like finding a pizza place near your hotel.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
But is that really saving you time?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all about opportunity cost, isn't it?
Right.
Would you have spent an hour trying to find that pizza place without the app? Or would you have just asked the hotel concierge or something?
True, true.
It just gets you thinking about where your time is really going.
Okay, this is starting to make me feel a little personally attacked because I will admit, I am a big fan of my grocery list app. Oh, sure, yeah.
Keeps everything organized.
Makes you feel on top of it, right?
Yes. But is it actually saving me that much time versus just writing it down on a piece of paper?
It probably saved you some arguments, though. Did you remember the milk?
Okay, you got me there. That is a very valid point.
It's the Domestic Harmony app.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, but then the article moves on to these all-in-one productivity apps. They have your calendar, your to-do list, your notes, everything in one place.
I've tried a few of those.
Yeah, you'd think that would be the ultimate solution, right?
Yeah. Streamlined.
One app to rule them all.
Mm-hmm.
But the article makes the argument that even if each of those individual components is useful, managing them all within one platform can actually become a time suck in and of itself. 100%. It's almost like digital clutter instead of being organized.
Yes. I tried one of those mega apps, and it was so overwhelming. It felt like I needed a whole training seminar just to figure out how to use it.
Yeah. You're spending more time learning the app than actually doing the work.
Exactly.
And speaking of, maybe simpler solutions, the article also mentions people who just work better with, good old-fashioned pen and paper.
The analog approach.
Right. So it makes you wonder, is that just nostalgia? Or is there something to that?
Is there actually a benefit to using those tangible tools in our digital world?
I think there's something to be said for the way that writing things down can help you process and remember information.
Right.
So it's not about rejecting technology altogether. It's just about finding what works best for you.
Yeah, and being honest about what's actually working, I think. Because, let's be real. We've all fallen victim to that app trap where you download something with the best of intentions.
Well, all the time.
And then you never use it again.
The app graveyard on my phone.
Oh, exactly.
It's extensive.
And the article mentioned that something like 22% of people abandon an app after using it only once.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of wasted, well, not wasted time, I guess, but
wasted potential.
Yeah.
And hope.
The hope that this is the app that's going to change my life.
Exactly.
But it turns out it's just, taking up space on your phone.
Yeah, and probably collecting data in the background. Who knows what those apps are doing?
Oh, well, that's a whole other
deep dive right there. Exactly. But I think what we're realizing here is that maybe it's not always about finding the right app. Maybe it's more about, taking a step back.
Absolutely. It's like we sometimes miss the forest for the trees.
Okay.
Like the article said, one of the biggest downsides to these so-called time-saving apps is they can actually lead to more distraction.
Wait, are you saying that the apps that are supposed to make us more efficient are actually making us waste more time?
It's kind of funny when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because our phones are designed to keep us scrolling and scrolling and,
Oh my gosh, yes.
like the notifications and the news feeds and
It's like they don't want us to look up from our
Yeah,
phones.
it's all about grabbing your attention.
Ugh, so true. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to be productive. I open my to-do list app, okay, I'm going to get so much done, and then I somehow end up 3 hours deep in Instagram.
It's like a black hole.
It really is.
You just get sucked in.
So if these apps are more distracting than helpful, what are we supposed to do? Just give up on technology altogether. Go back to carrier pigeons and sundials.
Well, I don't think it's quite that dire. The article had a couple of strategies that I thought were interesting. One is to really start paying attention to where your time is actually going.
Like tracking my time, but isn't that another app?
Well, yeah, some people use apps for that.
Right.
But it's kind of a fight fire with fire situation because sometimes you need that external tracker to realize, oh, wow, I did not realize I spent 3 hours on this today.
Yeah. That's always a scary realization when you see those screen time reports. Okay, so tracker time. What was the other strategy?
This one's a little more aggressive.
Okay.
They called it an app cleanse.
Ooh.
So basically, you just delete any app that's not essential. If you don't absolutely need it for work or communication or basic functioning, it's gone.
Wow.
And then you see what you miss.
Okay. I'm intrigued. So it's like a total reset for your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about being more intentional with the technology you let into your life. Do you really need those 5 different social media apps?
Ooh, that one hits close to home.
The game you haven't opened in 6 months.
Okay. You're making me think.
All that stuff.
Yeah, it's so easy to download something on a whim and then it just sits there.
Total digital clutter.
Ugh. And then you feel bad deleting it because you spent money on it or whatever. It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. And it all adds up, right? All that mental space it takes up. Just seeing those apps every day.
It's true. It's like visual noise cluttering up your phone.
Exactly.
This whole conversation is making me want to throw my phone in a drawer somewhere and just walk away.
Right. It's like a digital detox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. It's not about getting rid of technology completely. It's more about being intentional.
Exactly. Choose what serves you. Don't let it choose you.
I love that. Okay, so app cleanse is happening. My phone's about to get a whole lot more minimalist.
I might join you on that, actually. It's like a spring cleaning, but for your phone.
Digital spring cleaning. I like it. But it makes you wonder, right? If we're all so overwhelmed and reliant on these apps that are supposed to be saving us time, what does that say about us, as a society?
That's a big question. It reminds me of that part in the article where they were talking about how all this focus on individual time management, it kind of makes you miss the bigger picture.
Right. How are these apps changing the way we work? The way we interact with each other?
And are they really making things better in the long run?
That's the question, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I can squeeze in a few extra minutes here and there with my to-do list app, but am I actually living a more fulfilling life?
Right. Or are we all just becoming more and more tethered to our devices?
Yeah.
Even when we're trying to disconnect.
Okay, so maybe time-saving apps aren't a scam exactly, but they're not a magic solution either.
Definitely not a magic solution. And maybe that's okay. Maybe the real solution is not about finding the perfect app.
Maybe it's about being more present, more aware of how we're spending our time.
And not being afraid to disconnect every once in a while.
I like the sound of that. Well, listeners, I think that's our cue to wrap things up for today. Hopefully this deep dive has given you some things to think about.
And maybe even inspired you to try a little digital decluttering of your own.
Yes. A huge thank you to you for joining me today. Always love our chats.
Me too. Always a pleasure.
And listeners, as always, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If you want to learn more about the strategies we talked about today, check out the full article over at Fortune Magazine's website. It's definitely worth a read. And until next time, stay curious, stay mindful, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Deep Thoughts Podcast. I hope you found insights and inspiration to take with you on your journey of self-growth. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on new releases and exclusive content. See you next time, where we'll continue to help you grow and explore your full potential.